In this video, we are going to learn keyboard button. We have two main processes. One is to define how the keyboard button will look in our board. Second is to handle what will happen when someone click on the button. So let's define some keyboard button. And to do this, I'm going to use command. This command, when somebody enters the command in the board, the reply they will get will be keyboard button. So to do that, I'm going to import two things. So from Telegram, I'm going to import inline keyboard button and inline keyboard markup. So I'll create a command handler. So let's begin by creating a callback function. I'll call it options, which takes in boot and update. And here we are going to define our keyboard button. So to create a keyboard button, I'll call it button. It's just a list of inline keyboard button objects. So the way we arrange buttons is using a list. So if I want the first row to have two keyboard button, I'll have inline keyboard button, and the first argument will be the text to be displayed on the button. You'll see option 1, and callback data. This is the data that will be sent to the callback when somebody presses the option 1 button. I'll say 1. And now, because in this row I want to have two buttons, so in the first list I'm going to define two button. So inline button option 2 callback data 2. So in the next row I only want to have one button, so I'll have a list with only one button, one inline button with option 3 and callback data, I can say 3. So the next thing we need is to create a reply markup. And reply markup, we will use inline keyboard markup to generate reply markup. So inline keyboard markup, and here we will pass this object, this list object button. This will be responsible for rendering this button to appear in the board. So I'll pass that button, and from here we need to send message to the bot with chat ID from update.message.chatid, and then we need text. We can say choose one option, and to display the button, all we have to do is specify reply markup in the send message function and set the reply markup to the reply markup up here, and it's that simple. All we have to do now is to create a command handler. I'll call this option option handler, and to be a command handler, option, and the callback function will be option. Finally is to register this to the dispatcher, add handler, option handler. So let's run this. Python main, and I'll type in the command option, and we get the button. And you can see we have 2 buttons in the first row and 1 button in the second row. That's because we defined the outer list and the inner list. The first list have 2 buttons, and the second list have 1 button. That's responsible for that arrangement. So the next thing is, what will happen when I click this button? Nothing. And this because we haven't defined the what will happen, or the callback functionality of this button. So let's do that. So down here I'm going to create a callback function, call it button, that will take in both and update. Here we will get the update object we will get here. It's different from the update object we get from, say, a message handler or a command handler. This update will be a callback object from the button. When we click this button, we'll get a callback object. So to get data from the callback object, we have to say query, I'll call it query, is equals to update dot callback query, so that I'll grab the data from the callback object. Then all I have to do is, but I'll print out the choice. Remember, we have 3 choices, 1, 2, and 3. So chat ID will be update.message.chat ID, and then the text will be thanks for choosing, and then the query back.data, and that will be one of these depending on what the user will click. Now that we have the callback function, and now we need to register this callback function, so that every time a user clicks on the button, this function get called. So I'll call this button handler, and this is not going to be a command or a message handler. For a button, we have a special type of handler called callback query handler. So that's what we are going to use, callback query handler. And the only value we need to pass is the function without the parentheses, and we need to register this to the dispatcher. So dispatch dot add handler button handler. So there you go. Let's kill this one and start it again. So let's start this again. Python main, and this time type in option, we get the keyboard. When I click option, okay, here we need to use query, not the update. Remember, the update object here will be a callback object, so we need to get a callback query, so we need to use query. So I'm going to kill that one and run again, and options. And now we get thank you for choosing option 1, and thank you for choosing option 2, thanks for choosing option 3. Now this keyboard we see sticks here. It's desirable when I click an option that this button just disappears, and then we don't have to click on that multiple times. And to do that, we need to, instead of sending a message, we need to edit this message. Instead of using this send message, I'm going to use edit message text, and this will edit the message text. To use this function, we need to pass an additional value of the message ID that we need to edit, and we'll get this message ID from the query. So query.message.message ID, message ID. Then I can code the format. And now what happened is that when we click the button, the message, the button will get replaced by this message. So let's see that in action. So I'm going to kill that and start that again. Come here, say option. We have the keyboard. When I click the option 1, it's gone. We get thank you for choosing option 1, and that's really cool. I mean, it's really usable. So thank you for watching. See you in the next video.